So it's been like a month. I'm still here. Basically, what's happening is a lot of stuff is going on in my life. Went on vacation. I'm actually about to take my niece back. She's been with us for a week, taking her back to my sister's house for, you know, the rest of her time that she's down here with family. Yeah, so I haven't really been filming like anything. Also, it's been really hot, and I just haven't wanted to go outside. So garden looks kind of crappy because it's hot, and it needs a lot of help. So this weekend is gonna be a lot of garden nonsense, but I figured I'd at least show you some of the stuff that I did take some videos before I went on vacation. No, before today. And then, yeah, hopefully this weekend I will get my act together and kind of film some of the little projects that I'm going to be doing to kind of get all the dead stuff out and prepare for the fall garden. So, yeah, it just seems weird because it's like it seems weird because it's, you know, the end of July and I'm already putting stuff in for the fall garden, but really a lot of stuff's dying back, so, and I've also had some pest problems. So, yeah, it's time. So, here is everything that I filmed since, June. Guys, I have my work cut out for me. There are a lot of weeds. There's only sporadic peppers in here, the rest of it is weeds, so there's gonna be a lot of hacking and chopping and ripping up weeds here. This is all beans, but they are completely run down with weeds. I don't know if this is like the straw that we got, if maybe there were seeds in it, or what happened. I saw that it was like starting to happen right before the rain came, and now this is what I'm working with. And here's what it looks like now. Don't mind the weeds in the pathway. I also did some weeding over there, and some here, and a little bit here, a little bit there. So I'm going to take you around and show you what I'm harvesting today. I actually have some harvesting to do, and just some little things that made me happy when I was doing my little walkthrough today, as I do every time that I come out. There's still a lot of weeding to do. I mean, there's weeds everywhere, but I at least got, like, the monster weeds through this section done. this is where the garden is right now. Beans, lots of weeds, cucumbers, potatoes, tomatoes, eggplants, brassicas. It's great, but yeah, I just haven't had the heart to do filming recently. There's just been a lot going on, and it just doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel right. So I'm just gonna keep working, and I have a nice little harvest today. Got some big zucchinis that I let go a little too far. Lots of beans, peas, cucumbers. I'm gonna start needing a bigger basket. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say right now. I don't even know if this will end up being a video, but here it is. I have so much to do because we are going to the beach on Monday, but I just finished up the stuff that I wanted to do at the garden. I haven't really been filming just because it's been a lot of work and I've been tired, but I thought I would show you what's going on right now. So I'm gonna give you a quick little garden tour and show you what's been going on the past few weeks here. Yeah, I was kind of debating about whether I was gonna do one before I left. If I yeah, I don't know. I kind of fell off the wagon of filming anything for a while because it's just been crazy, but yeah, let me show you some stuff. Hi guys, welcome back. This is going to be a one-shot garden tour because I have my niece coming over today and she's gonna be staying for a week. So I wanted to like film a video and get it up before that because I'm not gonna do any other videos this week because I'm gonna be spending time with her. So just a few quick things before we go through. I'm gonna kind of take my time today and actually talk through some stuff that I'm planning on doing or thinking about doing. So there are some weeds, which, I mean, that's just kind of an inevitability at this point. And there's also some pests that I know I'm gonna have to deal with in the near future. I'm starting to think about getting some cooler weather crops either started up on my balcony in my little seed starting area, or just gonna see if I can buy them anywhere. We do have plenty of garden centers in the area, so I'm hoping that they'll be putting out fall plants. But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on that I want to show you and give you updates on. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be pulled up because it's just done. I wholeheartedly admit that I haven't really been watering as much as I should, and I can see things that look sad, and I know there's a lot of work to do, but I'm pretty proud of what I've managed to do, honestly. I've gotten so much out of this year. I've learned so much. I definitely want to keep trying and keep trying to do better, and yeah, so let's get to it. Okay, so here is the overall view of the garden. You can see my buckets there. Sorry, there's some sunshine right in your eyes there. It is 6:45 in the morning. I wanted to get out here early this morning to get a nice douse of water on everything. So yeah, that's what's going on in the big scheme. That light is beautiful. Alright, so let's just start right over here as usual. These cauliflower need to get pulled up. I really have not been doing much with them, and I just thought it would be fun to see what happens when you just let the cauliflower go. This one never did anything. This one is just going wild, and I just think it looks funny. So yeah, until I start getting some other stuff for the fall, these guys are just gonna stay here. This is my weed section. There's some little baby ladybugs right here. I don't know that it's gonna focus on them, but they are there. Yeah, this, I had tried to plant lettuce here, but I think it was just too hot and I hadn't been watering enough, so now it's just weeds. So I'm gonna get rid of those and find some more plants to put in there. Next is, of course, the kale and Swiss chard section. The Swiss chard is still going. I don't know if you remember, but they were itty bitty when I put them in the ground, and I've gotten so much off of them. I just picked some yesterday, so we'll be sauteing some greens. It looks like one, I think this was one of them. Either that or it's just a rogue weed, so I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to pull it out, but otherwise, they're still going. I've gotten so much off of them, and they don't really seem to be letting up anytime soon. Also, these two kale, I can get at least one harvest a week off of these guys, and they've still been going, so I've been letting them there. It's really nice curly kale. We've been making a lot of kale chips, and they have been delicious. We haven't really done much with this kale. I honestly am not a big fan of it, and it's starting to get eaten up, so I don't know. It was free, though. It was from my neighbor, garden neighbor. We've got cabbages. Unfortunately, we lost one over there. It got like completely just like rotted in place, and I kicked it by accident when I was watering one day, and that was probably the most disgusting sound that I've ever heard. But we do have some little cabbage heads. I'm not really sure what to do at this point, because I kind of feel like I just want to like harvest them small, and because we don't eat that much cabbage. But if I harvest them small, then at least, you know, I get something out of them before they rot like the other ones. I'm afraid, like, some of them are starting to get a little pest eaten, and I'm afraid that if I just leave them in here forever, that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to start thinking of stuff that I can do and pull up a couple little heads at a time to use them up, and then probably replant this area. Coming around here, this is the stone zone. It's starting to look a little rough. I think some of the flowers are starting to die off in the heat, which is fine. They've lasted pretty long. I definitely need to pull, like, deadhead some of it, because that's what part of the problem is they're really just not happy in the heat and not putting off any more flowers. So I do see a lot of pollinators. I can't wait to get over to the section and show you what's going on. But for now, here we are at the row of tomatoes, and this has honestly been doing really well. Yeah, so let me just kind of highlight some. I don't know that I have all the tags to tell you all the varieties, but I definitely know some of them, and I'm pretty sure that every single plant has at least one tomato on them at this point. I do need to start tying some of these up, though, because some of them you can see here are like getting a little wild. So here, right up in the place of honor, is Brad's Atomic Grape. I have a couple that refused blossoms, so they look a little funky, but this is what they're supposed to look like. They're still unripe, so it'll be a little bit, but there is a bunch. There's some down here. I have 2 plants of this. There's some here. Look at them. They're pretty cool. I don't know what these are. These might be the yellow pear. There's a ton. Don't know what this one is, but it's going all over the place. And there's one. This will be my first in-garden. That one's starting to blush down there. That's the first one in the actual garden. I have some mini tomatoes that I just got a tiny harvest off of yesterday, but that's the first in-garden one that I've seen that even started to blush. Which, cherry tomatoes, not that, you know, not that surprising that they would go first. Oh, there's like so many bees on that sunflower in my neighbor's plot. That's cool. This is some sort of multiflora. These might be blueberries tomato. Sorry, this is not focusing at all. But yeah, they're cute. There's a ton all over the place, and more flowers, so that's great. I got zinnias coming up. There's some plain zinnias here, and then I have some cool candy cane zinnias down here that I'll show you in a sec. Yeah, I don't know what some of these are, but tomatoes. This is my painted lady tomato, so you can see that the leaves have variegation. Let me switch to this. There. You can see the leaves have variegation, and the tomatoes are also variegated. So there's a couple of those on there. Let me pull this dead. There's a couple of those on there. More zinnias. They're just so cool. I'm so glad that I planted them here. It's just kind of, it looks beautiful among the tomatoes to have little flowers peeking out. Ooh, there's a spider on here. Nice friend. I don't know what this is, but there's one tiny guy on there. Like I said, most of these. Here's another variegated one. It does look a little stressed, and I can't tell if it's just from water or pests. I don't see any pests though, but there's a bunch of those guys. I don't know what these are, but they have like darker green shoulders than the rest of the tomato. If I dig down deep enough, there are tags for all of these, but I just haven't done that yet. Yeah. So, there's some bigger beefsteak tomatoes of some sort. That is Castelluto Genovese. There's another spider web. There's a big guy in here. You can kind of see it. And this is what I was talking about. The candy cane zinnias. Absolutely gorgeous. There's some long boys. Those are probably some sort of paste tomato. This one might not have any on yet. But there are some blossoms at least. This one got really tall, and it had a lot of issues with pests, but it is getting some. Apparently that's another paste tomato. This I think I had saved from market tomatoes. They're pretty cool. It's another stripy variety. I don't know what this is, but it's getting pretty tall, but oh, there's one. There's a little guy. And then this is Hilani. They're from Hawaii. And I thought I would see how it would do here. I mean, they're here. These are really light green. I don't know that I've seen, oops, sorry. These are really light green. I don't know that I've seen a lot that are like that color. All right. So, quick look at the potato patch. I am seeing more potato beetles again, which is frustrating and annoying because I thought I had gotten rid of them. But they're back. Look. Fuckers. Oh man, I hate them. I'm honestly about to give up on potatoes because it's such a pain in the ass to deal with all of the potato beetles because they're just completely stripping my potato plants, and honestly, I don't have time to pick beetles off of plants constantly, so I don't know. Maybe I'll dig up a potato plant and see how big the potatoes are, and if they're little but like still edible, maybe I'll just do that and put something else here instead. Got some weeds here. And then here are all of my eggplants, and they are actually starting to put off some flowers. So let me show you here. This guy has a flower, and I think there was another one over there that has a flower too. Yeah, so the back row are all like the skinny, like Asian type eggplants. These, I believe, are smaller varieties of eggplants, and I don't remember exactly which is which. Yeah, and something's been eating this one. Oh, there's eggs. Oh no. So I might be dealing with that because I don't want a bunch of pests, and they're already starting to eat my eggplants. But I think these are a smaller variety, and this is Black Beauty. So I will come back and take care of that egg problem then. Here is my tomatillo plant. It is amazing. There's lots of little guys, but they're definitely not ripe. This one's actually a lot bigger than I expected, because when they are all good, they fill up the whole husk. And this one is pretty firm. So they're actually a lot closer than I thought they were. These look different for some reason, but they're the same plant. Like, this is from the same seeds. Don't know. I also have ground cherries. If you look underneath, you can see some. We actually pulled a ton off of this yesterday, so there probably aren't any under here today. And my wife actually said she didn't hate them, which was surprising because she does not like tomatoes. All right. Stepping on some weeds. There's my umbrella on the ground. Definitely need to like do what I'm gonna do soon and get home. It is hot. Yeah, the nasturtiums are kind of done. My cucumbers are also kind of done, which it's okay. There's one kind of misshapen one there. I haven't really been watering them very consistently, which, like, totally my fault. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it's been going. I'll probably rip them out and replant in a couple weeks for the fall. There's a sad little guy here. Yeah, like, this is what's been happening a lot, is these little weird end bits, and I'm a little reluctant. I'm gonna try a blade of one, but I've been reading a lot about cucurbins, which is like bad for you, and it happens a lot when the plants are stressed. So also, I'm not really sure what to do with all this fennel. It's been very cool, but also it's starting to sprout. I don't know. Down here, we've got our onions. I think they're about ready to harvest as well. Like, the problem that I'm running into now is a lot of stuff is starting to really get ready, but I'm not ready for it. So, we'll see. And then this is my pepper patch. So, yeah, there's a lot. I haven't really harvested any peppers yet, but they're starting to get there. Like, here's something. Some kind of chili pepper. I don't know what kind that is. I don't really remember what a lot of these are. There's definitely, like, here. You can see there's something happening there. And we got some little Thai chili peppers here. I don't know what some of these plants are, though. And some of them died. It's questionable as to whether they died because I didn't take care of them enough, or if my dad hit them with his vigorous weeding. I'm glad for the help, but just there's been a couple plants that he's accidentally gotten. There's a jalapeno. This is the candy cane pepper. So once again, this is with really pretty variegated leaves, and there are a ton of these little tiny peppers on, and they have little stripes on them. They're really cool, but they're still green, and I think they change colors, so I'm gonna let them ripen more. This is my ghost pepper. I got that for fun. They're really cool looking. And then this was one that I got from Baker Creek. It's like a Ferrozone pepper. They're little yellow squatty peppers. They look kind of cool. This was one of the areas that I had planted flowers, and it got a little overgrown with weeds, and I think my dad just gave up on it when I was gone this week and just kind of got everything. So I'll have to find something to put there. And then here is my bean patch. It is starting to have a few issues here. First of all, as you can see, I've got some plants that are kind of done. But it's okay because I do have some sections of plants that, like these, I have not pulled a single bean off of. I've got some dried beans that are working. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. There's definitely some weeds. It's funny because these weeds have been coming up and they look very similar to the leaves of the actual bean plants, but they're not the same. So I've been missing some of them when I've been weeding, and then they get really big and I'm like, yep, that's not a bean. But yeah, you can see some of the plants are starting to lay down on the ground, and they've kind of stopped producing beans, and that's fine. Their turn is over, so I'll probably be putting some more bean plants in here to try to get another harvest. And yeah, there's some goddamn morning glories that are climbing up my other beans here. So the types that I have, so right here is dragon tongue bush beans, and you can kind of see some of them in here. Look at that. Super cool. And then these are rattlesnake pole beans. I have some variegated stuff. There's Borlato beans over here. These are some sort of purple beans. Really cool looking. These other pole ones here are Good Mother Stallard. I even have like edamame in here, which is pretty cool. That's what these like rounded leaves are. They're a little fuzzier too, like the stems are a little fuzzier. I finally have flowers on these. These definitely like took off in the past week. They have been the hardest thing that I've tried to grow. Honestly, out of all the beans, most of the beans, like I planted kind of a first run of them and they started coming up and I was like, oh, I can probably plant more. I was reading more about, you know, growing beans. I planted pretty much every single edamame plant that I had and I got 3. So I don't know if it's just my climate, not like really happy about the climate or what, but I finally got 3, so we'll see what happens. But I like edamame pods, so, and my wife does too, so I really wanted to try at least. And then down here, my Tanya's pink potted beans, which I was really excited about. They're really tasty. But I'm letting one whole plant go, basically, so that I can save the seeds, because I only had 6, and I got 4 plants, which is pretty impressive, and I've already gotten a bunch of harvests off of this, so, these 3 are actually still going. They kind of started a little late, so hopefully I'll get some more beans off of them, and I'll be able to plant another succession. Behind me here is my cucamelon thing, which is now like huge. Look at that. Huge. And it's like tendrils are now coming out and stuff. So we actually took 2 off yesterday to try them, and they're pretty tasty. And there's a bunch that are starting to go on here. So yeah, there's also a lot of weeds in this. This is like a really cool little trellis thing, but it also, because it's a little rounded trellis, you can't weed inside of it, so it's just kind of a mess. And then let's talk about some squash. So I'm going to come to the other side here so that you don't have to see my shadow. I have 3 mounds of Moon and Stars watermelon. So 1, 2, that's really tiny, and then over there is the big guy, 3. That was just because I had so many of the plants and I kind of wanted to try to not waste any. So they've been really cool because they trail along the ground and they have these really, really beautiful variegated leaves with all the speckles on them. I'm not going to get too close to some of these plants because I don't want to disturb all the bees that are on them, because it's prime time for bees. There's lots of flowers on them. You can kind of see that there's some flowers and there's lots of pollinator activity. You can see there's a bee in there right now. Bee little butt. So this is my yellow squash. We got a bunch off of that yesterday. This one here is my patty pan squash, or a white scallop squash. I know that there's like, yeah, right in here, if you look, there's one of those. This is the honeydew melon, which they're getting bigger, but I don't think I've seen an actual melon yet, but hopefully we'll get some. Yeah, I think I lost, I think my dad might have gotten some of my okra again too, because there's a couple missing. Oh well. Yeah, there's another Moon and Stars. This is just a regular like Black Beauty zucchini, but it's really pretty because it actually has variegated foliage. But yeah, there's one big plant here and then one very tiny plant on the other side, but they've both been giving off fruits. You can kind of see in here. Let me get you closer. There's one right there. Here's one here. There's one there. So this has been pretty good to me. There have been lots of fruits off of those. This here, so this one is a conundrum. I don't actually know what these two plants are. They have different leaves. This one here in front of me is a vine, and those two are bushes. Let me show you. So I think that's a spaghetti squash. Like, it's gotta be, right? And there's another one here. They're getting pretty big, but they're pretty light. So I think they'll change into yellow. But then, like, if you look in here, does that not look similar? But this is a bush plant. It's a completely different kind of plant. And then over here, this is supposedly two of the same plant here. We've got this. I think these are delicata or possibly something cross-pollinated, so that'll be interesting to see what actually happens. Behind me here is the Cicada sweet melons. They took a little bit longer to get off, like jump off, and then was having some pest problems and having some watering problems, but it looks like they finally like figured out what's going on. But I don't see any female flowers yet, so hopefully, like I said, the melons are coming soon, I think. Here is a okra that is still alive, and this flower was really beautiful yesterday, but yeah, there's already a little okra guy on there. There's another one right here too, like another plant. They're really pretty. This should get pretty big eventually. We've got corn and beans. These are taller than me now, and they have their little floofs on the top. And there's a bee. Look at that bee. He's got pollen all over his butt. Amazing. You do your job, bee. But yeah, so I have beans growing up these stalks, and I'm gonna try to replant melons again, or not melons, squash again on the bottom, because the whole point was this was supposed to be three sisters. So yeah, look how beautiful those flowers are over there. Nice. These people were really smart. They put newspaper down on everything. Do you ever rubberneck? Especially community gardens, it's kind of cool because you can see what other people do. I've learned a lot just from kind of looking at neighboring plots. Like, this person here has not had to weed like at all because they just put a good layer, like thick layer of newspaper down all over everything. And look how nice that is. I'm doing that next year. Anyway, I actually pulled out some carrots yesterday. I had a bunch of Parisian carrots, and I also have some radishes here that I can probably pull out. But the Parisian carrots were really good. I got 3 good ones, and that's about the best that I could expect from carrots. But there is this sad pile of, oh, there's a carrot too. It's probably not, yeah. This has been generally what I've been finding. Also, some of them got stuck in the ground, and a lot of them looked like this. Not ideal. But I do have some radishes that I can pull up. I'm just not going to do that today. And then here are my peas, which are pretty much dead, which is fine. I'm going to do a next sowing of them, and I need to fix this fence, like, again. But yeah, it's time to do another sowing of those guys. I've got a sunflower that's starting to think about sunflowering. And the last thing up here is the actual Moon and Stars watermelon. And I saw something very exciting yesterday when I brought my wife over so that we could check on things and harvest. And that is this little guy right here. It's my first melon. I've never grown a melon before, and I got one. So I'm hoping this will put off a couple more too, but having one is exciting, just the one. There's also one more plant up here, and this is my Cocozel squash. So it's essentially just a fancy zucchini. It's stripy. They get pretty big. There's a bee. Bee, that flower's so tiny. You're gonna pollinate my watermelon. Oh, there's another one. No, I'm not trying to hurt you. Just want to get this watermelon out of here. I'll put him over there. But yeah, there's another. Nice. Exciting. Yeah, I don't know if there's a flower there, but that's a male flower. So I don't know if there's any other. This has been a little bit slower. It's an heirloom variety of squash. So it's not quite as prolific as that one over there. But that's okay. I still have plenty of squash. Yeah, so, and then I have my herbs. Some of them are doing better than others. Look at all those sunflowers over there. Look at that. It's just kind of beautiful to like look around here, because like I have my little plot, but there's also just so many really beautiful plots around here. I get to see other people's ways of growing things, and I've learned a lot. So that's going to be it for today. I got to get watering. It's starting to get really hot outside already. It's not even that late in the morning. But yeah, I have plenty of stuff that I need to do today. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon with another knitting podcast and some more gardening stuff. All right, bye.